Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Justice this Labor Day weekend. The theme, liars, leakers, and liberals. I'm Jeanine Pirro. Thanks for being with us tonight. And thanks to all of you once again for making Justice #1 last weekend. Tonight in our special, we will uncover the liars, leakers, and liberals desperately working to take down the Trump presidency. We have a big show on deck with House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, Governor Mike Huckabee, Charlie Kirk, and Tom Fitton, to name just a few. But first, my open. What don't you get? Have you no self-esteem, self-regard, self-respect? Where is your dignity? Why would you stay in a job where you're not wanted? A job you took under false pretenses, knowing you wouldn't be able to do the complete job. And why do you continue to stay? No one elected you, Jeff. Voted for you, petitioned to make sure you got the job. You're certainly not entitled to the job. You groveled and begged for the job, and out of loyalty, he gave it to you. You're so clueless, you don't even know you're being used. You don't even know you're nothing but a shill. In fact, the only constituency that wants you is the deep state that needs someone to protect their flank from an investigation. From Rod Rosenstein to James Comey, John Brennan, James Clapper, Loretta Lynch, Peter Strzok, Andrew McCabe, the Clintons, Obama, and on and on. Are you proud of yourself? You've taken the blindfold off, Lady Justice, and weighted the scales in favor of anyone who's a Democrat and refused to do your job to prosecute corruption by the Democrats. Now, I know you spent 20 years in the Senate doing basically nothing. In 20 years, you sponsored 7 bills that became law. One of them, the James Madison Commemoration Commission of 2000, whatever the hell that was. Now, maybe your brain got juiced while you enjoyed the fruits of the most exclusive 50-member club in America, but why did you really need or even deserve to be Attorney General? And so now you've recused yourself from the 2016 Russian election probe. Okay, but what's your excuse for not acting like the AG? Can't you see what's going on? For all intents and purposes, the Russia collusion investigation is over because there is no Russia collusion by President Trump or his team. Hard as they all tried to frame the president, their unhinged conspiracy theory is dead. Mueller's moved on from Russia to obstruction and now to hookers, whores, porn stars, and campaign contributions. You want to talk campaign contributions? Let's talk about the millions Hillary funneled to the law firm that laundered it through Fusion GPS to create a false document to con the FISA court to surveil the campaign of the opposing outsider candidate. Even a nonpartisan government watchdog group filed a complaint with the FEC in October of 2017, alleging Hillary and the DNC violated that campaign finance law. What are you doing about that? Does she just go scot-free again? Jeff, if you're not corrupt, and if the fix isn't in because they've got something on you, then you've been duped. Can't you see the damage to this country by this fraudulent investigation that you breathed life into by allowing them to run amok? Can't you see from under your desk that this nation is being torn apart as they continue to promote their lunacy against the president that we elected? Mueller's charge doesn't prevent you from investigating other corruption. How can you possibly ignore the flow of hundreds of millions of dollars in cash to the Bill and Hillary corrupt foundation as Russians sought fertile ground for their uranium racketeering into the Clinton bank account? How can you ignore that Hillary Clinton set American foreign policy to coincide with the flow of hundreds of millions of dollars to her foundation? And Bill was the bag man. And you know there's never been a real audit. How can you watch as Mueller, as he desperately hands out immunity so he can prosecute the man he's targeted for no reason at all, while Comey and Lynch gave immunity like candy and no one was ever brought before a grand jury, let alone prosecuted? Hillary, Cheryl Mills, Zuma Abedin, Anthony Weiner, Brian Pagliano. How do you justify that Hillary got a heads up that she could obstruct justice, destroy evidence and 33,000 emails, and put our classified secrets at risk, while a target in a tax case years old has his door broken down at 5 a.m. and he's then put in solitary confinement 23 hours a day before he is even tried? Even your best friends, Lindsey Graham and Chuck Grassley, have had it with you and are ready to throw you under the bus. Grassley saying he could find the time to hold hearings to replace you. Lindsey saying you will very likely be replaced. And the Vacancy Reform Act. Vacancy Reform Act. Look it up, Jeff. Allows for the appointment of a new attorney general on a temporary basis without Senate confirmation. So now, Jeff, isn't it grand? You tell the president that you are standing for justice. Your standing is nothing more than a front, a shill for a corrupt deep state. And you have the nerve to talk about justice? And all the bad actors who desperately need you to protect them from the sword of Damocles are blowing smoke and telling you to stay the course? They're laughing at your idiocy because not only are you allowing Mueller and his band of Trump-hating Democrat lawyers to continue their investigation in search of a crime, any crime, into now the president's business finances having nothing to do with Russia. Are you proud of yourself? While I am the AG, the actions of the Department of Justice will not be improperly influenced by political considerations. Are you kidding? All of America knows the DOJ continues to be influenced by politics. That's why they elected the outsider president. They see it every day when the DOJ and the FBI smugly refuse to respond to congressional subpoenas. And when absolutely required, they hand over documents blackened out and unreadable. And by the way, Jeff, if you and your pals think you're getting to the president, think again. This president can take the shots. He's done it his whole life. Never underestimate him or his powers. But you need to do one of two things. Resign immediately because you're not wanted, or put on your big boy pants and be a real attorney general.